1 week season.
Hello and welcome in, friends. This is StatATL coming to you live a few days before Christmas. So I guess it's your favorite host here, little festive hat on, trying to get some Christmas colors going here. And today we're going to just kind of talk a little bit playoff best ball, specifically around Underdog's gauntlet and mitten contest. And so for those of you who are not familiar with playoff best ball, we'll just start with like high level. Well, what is playoff best ball? We'll get in, we'll field some questions, we'll talk some strategy, and plan on doing a few drafts in the mitten, in the gauntlet, for those of you who want to draft alongside or ask questions kind of along the way. So I guess we'll just kind of very first start with kind of, what is playoff best ball? I know a lot of folks who are tuning in here are going to be familiar with the concept of the best ball format. But on Underdog, it is a 6-player snake draft. It's 10 rounds, and your 10-player roster is composed of a starting lineup of 5 players, 1 quarterback, 2 wide receivers / tight ends, 1 running back, and 1 flex. And your advancement rates are going to vary by contest. So for the gauntlet, you've got a 4-round structure with the top 2 team, just the top team advancing out of a group of 6 in the first round, followed by 2 different independent rounds in the second and third, with only 1 team advancing out of a pod of 6 in each of those rounds. Finals is a 500-team Super Bowl, $500,000 pay up top. And then in the mitten, slightly easier advanced in round 1. It's 2 of 6 out of the original pod get on to the second round. And it's slightly more difficult. Instead of being 1 out of 6, it is now 1 out of 10 in the second round, 1 out of 10 in the third round, and then a 375-team Super Bowl. So obviously getting out of the first round is critical. But, it's difficult if you're drafting 4 or 5 players from one of the bye teams. So as of this publication, that is the, Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos. Just kind of one of those things to kind of keep in mind. It's just like the Millie Maker on DraftKings. Payout structure's really, really top heavy. So, I've got a strategy article for this out on 1 week season. I've got a link to it in the Discord, I've got a link to it down in the description. We'll have links to it in the 1 week season Discord. You can sign up for free for 1 week season to read the article, and I'm hoping that you will. So, let me just kind of hit on some of the main differences between playoff best ball contest and the regular season best ball, which I'm sure for those of you who have been around different Discords, been around Twitter, you have seen people posting their excitement, their rosters of making it to the best ball, the BBM finals or DraftKings finals, which is super hard to do, a great achievement in itself. I think one of the biggest differences between playoff best ball and regular season best ball is strictly in the draft, whereas I feel like there are so many different ways that you can go in a regular season best ball draft and not be quote unquote wrong, where you're still making good decisions, still making good rosters, still composing rosters the right way. I think that with the playoff contest, it is much easier to make mistakes, and it's much harder to recover from those mistakes, because in playoff best ball, you are really, with all the contests being so top heavy, you are drafting for the Super Bowl. And in order to get to a Super Bowl, obviously it's very hard to advance. But then once you're there, you need to have a team that is truly live. And what does that mean? It depends on what teams make it. You know, if you've got number 2 or number 3 seeds in the Super Bowl, there will be teams there with 7, 8, or even more live players there. So being able to build out rosters that are strong, that are unique, that give you the opportunity to have many live players in the final is really around the strategy here. So let's kind of say hi to some folks. Go Collect, thank you for tuning in. Mike, hola, ready to draft with you as well. Got Frost GE, man, way too early. You're way too early or dead. I'm sure I have a couple way too earlies are dead as well. But, you know, that's kind of some of the risk that you take on, some of the strategy that you should be kind of leaning into with those way too early. And honestly, the same now, or certainly the same a week ago, we'll say, with the gauntlet and the mitten, when you've got so much uncertainty around the teams that will make the playoffs, the seeding, you really want to kind of lean into that uncertainty a little bit. You know, on my stream last week or 2 weeks ago, we were talking about how I felt it would make a lot of sense to be drafting Lions teams when they were basically free. You know, we had the same thing going on with the Jaguars 2 or 3 weeks ago. We were talking about that. Honestly, the same thing can be said now for the 11-4 second-seeded Bears. Like, nobody wants the Bears. And so it's just kind of one of those things that as seeding gets finalized, as the playoff teams get finalized, whereas I would say 12 out of the 14 teams are basically finalized. You're really only looking at the NFC South between the Panthers and the Buccaneers, which is about a 50-50 to make the playoffs. And then really the Steelers have probably a 90% chance of getting in, but the Ravens, you know, are still technically live. And you know, the Colts are still technically live as well, but they're basically dead. The Lions are basically dead. These are teams with probably 5% probability of making the playoffs. So, Billy, I appreciate you tuning in. Miss Mikey Baker, thank you for tuning in. Mike Landau, Christmas came early. It's your first badge on Underdog today. That's awesome, Mike. Thanks for tuning in. So I think what we'll do is we'll just kind of hop into a draft here in the mitten, and I will just kind of draft along and kind of share some thoughts, share some feedback on what I'm thinking, why I'm drafting, who I'm drafting, and we'll just kind of go from there. So if you guys have questions, have comments, any of the feedback, please just throw it here in the chat. I will do my best to answer those questions. To me, though, I think the playoff best ball is really just one of those things where you want to try to get a lot of reps. Underdog has a $3 contest, a little mitten. They've got a $5 regular mitten. And I think if you're just starting out, you certainly want to get some reps into those contests, learn ADPs, put together some of the strategy that we'll talk about here that I've got over in my strategy article, where I kind of break down, you know, what we're trying to accomplish, not just by round, but kind of the first half of the draft, what we're trying to get. So we have Puka Nacua off the board first here. To me, I feel like Josh Allen is kind of the consensus pick at 2. I don't really like that. So I don't typically go James Cook, but we're going to try this here and just kind of see how this shakes out. I think kind of in general, one of the things that I like to try to do in the first 3 rounds is make sure I've got a running back. Those those stud running backs, your Cook, your McCaffrey, your Saquon, your Kyron Williams, your Travion Henderson, RJ Harvey, Travis Etienne, those guys are typically all gone in the first 3 rounds. So to me, that's kind of one of those spots where I feel like if you don't end one of the first 3 rounds with one of those guys, you're kind of playing a little bit of catch up. You certainly can get there, depending on what Super Bowl matchups you decide to lean into. I think guys like Travis Etienne are very live, and sometimes you'll see him fall into the 4th round, but those ADPs continue to rise. So we'll kind of see what we've got here. It would have been great to have Devontae Adams fall to me there. This is kind of one of those situations where I generally don't like to take Cook because of what has come here. I'm going to lean into Khalil Shakir here and build out for Buffalo and just try to figure out what I want to do on the other side. I think this is a spot where I could lean into Josh Jacobs. Probably not with both Barkley and A.J. Brown gone already that I'm going to want to lean into Philly. Probably one of these spots here where I'm going to grab Josh Jacobs. Philly says jumped in as soon as you said it. Overflow doing a countdown for the draft. Mike, Philly, I will do a countdown on the next mitten. We'll do a little pause. We'll kind of talk through mistakes, kind of thoughts, and then we'll go through there. CW said, are advancing pods random or does it matter when you draft? You play against the 6 teams that you drafted with in the first pod. And then in the mitten, it's 2 out of 6. Moving forward from there, it's either 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 6 if it's in the gauntlet. And those pods are random, but you draft with, you try to advance with the 6 folks that you drafted with. What's up, fam? Who says that he doesn't know, but he got you. Thanks for tuning in here. Colton, that's totally my fault. Can you share the screen of the draft? I didn't realize I wasn't sharing. So thank you for that call out. I will try to learn for the future to not make that mistake again. So we start out Cook, Shakir, Jacobs, Kincaid, with the intention of probably building out. That'll probably all I'll do from Buffalo. Try to grab some Green Bay pieces here. Probably go Christian Watson here. And then this may be a build where I decide that I go some Chicago Bears pieces here, just kind of based on what's available on the board, and build this out as a Buffalo and either Green Bay or Chicago game. Super Bowl, that's probably how I'll build this out. Mike says can't see the draft. Thank you guys. I appreciate the heads up. It's been, I haven't streamed in like 2 weeks. I'm a little rusty. I think he's the worst pick on the board at 2, in your opinion. Laugh out loud, Samo. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think Josh Allen is hard to build. I much prefer Josh Allen in 4, 5, 6 area where you have the possibility of pairing him with Cook, or kind of grabbing a stronger start. This 3-hole here has got Josh Allen, Devontae Adams, Matt Stafford, Sutton Diggs. He doesn't have a running back yet. And I guess, if Blake Corum falls to him, that's not so bad. I don't like taking 2 quarterbacks so early. I think that really hurts your draft capital spent that early. So 6 hole here goes Barkley, Brown, Hurts, Devonta Smith got it, really leaning into the Eagles. Going to have to build around the Chargers, it looks like, for him. Gets sniped over here with McConkey. The 5 hole here is JSN, Kyron, Walker, Nico Collins, Woody Marks. So kind of a hodgepodge to start here. Let's see. Looking at the 1 hole, he has got Nakua. He should take Kyron, and then I guess he's gonna just build around that. So to me, I'm probably gonna go DeAndre Swift here. Back to me. I'm going to go DJ Moore. I just don't see a reason why anyone would take Jordan Love at this case, and I want to make sure that let's kind of queue up both quarterbacks here, and just try to build out that direction. Mike says if you don't have Josh and Cook, it's not worth it because someone already has that combo. Yeah, I think that if you are building, if you were building with Josh Allen, and you don't get Cook, I think you need to. I don't think that those rosters are dead. What you're basically building is you need to probably grab a McCaffrey or a Barkley. You need the Super Bowl running back on the other side from the NFC to outscore Cook in that game. A lot of folks, Rob, Mike, both telling me they can't see the screen. Rob says 103 is really messing up. Yeah, not his best. So we're gonna secure Love here. We'll probably take Caleb Williams next, and then we'll take, or maybe I don't want to lose Caleb. Although we got two quarterbacks. I don't see a spot where I'm going to lose Caleb here just because everyone else already has 2 quarterbacks. But people do dumb stuff in these drafts all the time, and so there's so many options for me between like Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, or I could build through Chicago with this last piece as well. Rome Odunze, Colson Loveland, all those are fine. And so to me in this situation, like his team is not that strong already just because of the combinations of it being Buffalo, Chicago, Green Bay, not the most likely Super Bowl. But it gets a lot weaker if I don't get Caleb Williams there because I'm really pigeonholed into only one option for my Super Bowl. So just kind of one of those things where I feel like if you're drafting a whole bunch of teams, I'm a big proponent of naming and tracking your teams. I don't do it with all the little mittens, but all the gauntlets, most of the regular mittens that I do, I kind of track. Hey, these are the teams that I've built. Green Bay, Chicago, with a Buffalo kind of Super Bowl, just so I make sure I'm not building the same teams over and over again. Gives you some good visibility into that. And I do think that if you're building, 50, 100 plus teams, you want to make sure you're tracking, not just looking at your overall exposures, but making sure, hey, I really like whoever. I really like Chicago. Let's go Dobbs here. And so on this build here, we ended with a 4-3-3 with 4 Packers, 3 Bears as kind of both my NFC options going against James Cook, Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid. So pretty strong Buffalo stack on the other side for my AFC, despite not getting Allen. So I don't really mind. I don't really mind that. Let's read a couple more of these comments, and then we'll kind of queue up kind of the next drafts here. Actually, why don't we just? I'm going to come over here. Got to be a better way to do this. I'm going to go back. We're going to draft a mitten team. So as you see, I am queuing it up now. If you want to draft with me, I am clicking enter. And it filled immediately. So either you guys are sitting waiting to want to draft along, or it's just a really robust, busy time to be trying to draft teams. So do you guys like how I've got these windows kind of paired up to kind of give you the board as well, although it seems to be a little bit slow. But there we go. We've got Rob, Just Rob, King, PPR, J Dubs, John R, and ABC Cam in this room. We drew the second hole just again. So Jins Wins asks, I'm curious what offers a better advantage, drafting in playoff best ball earlier or waiting until the playoffs are closer? So a little bit of both. You know, there are pros and cons to both. If you wait till the end, you've kind of got the most information. You've got likely seedings secured. You've got buys. You know the matchups. However, so does everybody else. Whereas if you're willing to kind of draft a little bit earlier, gives you a little bit more options. I'm going to go Barkley on this one. So, I mean, there will be, there were teams that, I know I was drafting Travis Etienne in the 9th and 10th round just, 2 weeks ago. And so, you've got, early in the draft cycles, it was common to get Josh Allen with James Cook. It's much more difficult to do now, just for example. So pros and cons, if you had drafted earlier, you have the ability to kind of make some of these quote unquote super teams, but you also would have drafted Ravens players and Lions players, and those builds are likely dead. I hate every non-Puka team. Yeah, Philly, I mean, the Rams are my favorite team to draft, as we've been talking in the different Discords. I've been a big proponent, even before last Thursday with the Rams-Seahawks game, of trying to draft 4 or 5 Rams on a team. It was a little easier to do back then because people didn't want to do it thinking the Rams were going to get the bye. Just kind of one of those things where, hey, Seattle is also a really good team. It's in Seattle. What if Seattle wins? So again, kind of embracing a little bit more of that risk. So interesting here to see May go in the first round. Not something that you typically see. Josh Allen drafter takes AJ Brown. I'm going to grab Nico Collins here. So I think for me, instead of Nico, like, you could consider Travion Henderson. You know that like May is gone. You can lean into Harvey, hoping to get Nicks. To me here, I think I'll go Devonta Smith. I'm happy to kind of pass potentially on Jalen Hurts, just because the 3-hole who already has a quarterback and took AJ Brown. I think it's a mistake for him to take Jalen Hurts here. Doesn't mean he won't do it. To me, you just really don't want to be using that much draft capital on multiple quarterbacks so early. We get back to the questions. Not so narrowcast. I mean, Ken Walker, Kyron, or any other. And yes, exactly. Exactly. But you have to get one of those guys if you don't get Cook, if you're building an Allen roster, which they're not hard to get. Multiple options. You just got to make sure you get one of them. Billy says, I'm getting forced into so much Houston. I don't mind Houston. Let me see. You can make it Pittsburgh instead of Houston. You could. I don't mind. I don't mind Pittsburgh. That right now that would be the Steelers and the Chargers would be that current 4-5 matchup. Not one that I would completely shy away from, but not one I'm running to. So be curious to see what happens here. Blake Corum. This is really the interesting pick. He takes Goddard. So I think for me here, I think I'm going to lean into Courtland Sutton. Even though I don't have Harvey, I have Barkley. So if I end up building this around both AFC teams with, grabbing some Houston pieces and Stroud, some Denver pieces and Bo Nix. I still have a running back in the Super Bowl, assuming it's Philly. I can add a late Philly piece if that's the way I decide I want to go. So I think here for me, this is grab Bo Nix. Add another, and again, right now Denver has the bye, so you're not trying to take 5 Denver pieces. Although here in the mitten, it is 2 of 6 advance. It's easier to get those current bye teams through. I always kind of once I've decided I've kind of got some stacks or some directions, I always kind of like to just kind of queue up some of those players from those teams just to kind of keep an eye on it. And I like to have ADP up as well to kind of see where I can expect some of those guys to potentially be available. I think ADP, frankly, doesn't matter in the playoff best ball contest, where in regular season best ball, it's much more important. Those values are much stronger. Whereas in playoff best ball, I don't really care about ADP. I don't mind pulling guys up. Because I'm really trying to lean into correlation because all the money is making the finals. What's your ideal build? Like a 4-4-2, 2-3-5, ever take 3 quarterbacks? Great question, Mike. I think taking 3 quarterbacks is completely suboptimal. I think both 1 quarterback and 2 quarterback builds are viable. I prefer the 1 quarterback build with someone like a Josh Allen or a Matt Stafford, non-bye quarterbacks, obviously. Even Jalen Hurts, guys that I can have some rushing upside. I could potentially expect a little bit stronger scores out of them multiple weeks. I don't know that I would really want to lean into like CJ Stroud or Jordan Love as my only quarterback. I feel like that is riskier than I want it to be. So I've got Sutton, Nix, and Franklin here from the Broncos. Nico Collins, Woody Marks. Happy to grab CJ Stroud. Next, whatever that would be, 8-9 turn. And then kind of decide, do I want to add another Philly piece later on? Do I want to add? I probably will stop with 3 Broncos here. May add a 4th in the 10th round. But again, I'm trying to think of advancement pieces, things of that nature. A lot of ways that you can go here. Tried to get in. Ended up in another room. Mike, we'll try again. I'm going to probably end up doing 4 or 5 of these. I feel like it's much easier to kind of talk through strategy, mistakes, things of that nature while we're in while we're doing this. How far up the Jacks fives frozen HP? Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Jacksonville guys were basically free just a week or two ago. Honestly, the same with the Texans. Like, I was getting Nico Collins in the 9th, 10th round, undrafted just 10 days ago. So, and now he's generally a 2nd, 3rd round pick. So Rob has 2 quarterbacks. What do I want to do here? Let's grab Stroud. I'm going to grab Johan Dotson here, add a 3rd Eagle to this build. So right now I've got a 3-3-3 combination. I think if it is Denver, I'm playing for a Knicks, Sutton, Franklin, Devontae Smith, Barkley kind of Super Bowl with Dotson as kind of an extra. Going to be potentially missing Knicks, Sutton, Franklin. So just trying to look, do I want to add another? So I think the decision in the 10th on a build like this, when you've got a team that is likely, I think the Broncos are about 50% or so to get the bye out of the AFC right now. I think one of the conversations or thoughts that you've got to be having as you get into these late rounds is, am I tacking on another piece for a potential Super Bowl? Or am I looking at just another advancement piece? I think both of those strategies are fine. I think that if I didn't have a strong running back like Barkley, even Woody Marks he's mid to be using a young person's term. But having a strong running back like Barkley here, I don't know that I need another running back. Like, there's no one on the board outside of maybe Charbonnet. You could obviously lean into Gainwell or Warren as a potential advancement piece. Strictly, I think, you could lean into Shaheed as an option here. I think would be okay. Brenton Strange, any of these guys for potential help with advancement. But I think I'm going to grab Dalton Schultz here and kind of lean into Houston a little bit on this build here as well. Kind of give me that 4-3-3 option. Some decent Eagles pieces to go along with a Sutton, Knicks, Franklin build. Mike says Merry Christmas. I got a split. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. So I will queue up another. I think in the future we'll go and we'll look at teams. A little out of practice here with haven't done these streams in a while. So I'm going to enter another mitten here. I'm going to say go. When you see go ahead and click, go ahead and try to hop in there with me. It looks like it's got 3 people in this room. All right, so we got the hot soup coming through. Shooter McLovin, Ian, Laugh Out Loud, Samo, who I know asked a question earlier. John R. in here. We have we've got the 5 hole here. So, any other questions that you guys may have for me as we wait? me, I only one off if some part of my roster appears to be weak. Yeah, Rob, I don't mind that approach as well. I feel like for me personally, I try to do a little bit of both, just kind of looking at what has done well in previous years. Some years you've needed guys. I think it was last year that Lad McConkey just had a massive 3 touchdown game, and he was who you needed to advance. Some years that happens, some years that doesn't in the first round. So to me, I like to just kind of have a little bit of both. I try not to pigeonhole myself into always making the same choice every time. I think from here we'll go Davante Adams. We're going to take Barkley here, which I think is going to be kind of against what most people would think would be optimal strategy there. I think you could easily lean into an NFC team there, grabbing a Travion Henderson, grabbing a Drake May, grabbing an RJ Harvey, and kind of building out from there. I'm not sure. With Kyren off the board, I could certainly have gone Matt Stafford there, but I'm not going to have Puka. Kyren's already gone. Likely, I could potentially get Corum in the later rounds, but just not a very strong Rams build with just Adams. I'm happy to do it if it's Josh Allen with Adams. If I've got a much stronger. Much less common pairing. Again, I still don't understand why. I feel like this is a very common pairing to go Josh Allen when the board kind of falls like this, to then take AJ Brown and then go Shakir or Kincaid over here. And I just kind of think it's a mistake. You don't end up with a strong running back on these teams a lot of times. Maybe you go to Devontae Smith here. Again, you've still got a decent Philly team, but you're kind of hoping a prayer on Buffalo, like you're taking Ray Davis, you're taking Ty Johnson late, and hoping that is the way to go. I think that's just so much weaker than the Super Bowls that go Allen Barkley, which is a common build. Or if you start with Cook and get some Bill and get some Eagles. I think it's just you're so behind the 8 ball with those builds. Unfortunately, we're going to lean into Denver again, I think, on this build. I'm going to take Blake Corum here. And kind of hope, for lack of a better term, that Goddard and or Knicks, both one of them come back to me. Kind of a hope and a prayer, to be honest with you. Ferguson the year before that, when you were talking Lad. Yeah, I mean, again, it's I don't feel like it's that uncommon for there to be one strong score in the wild card round. And so I don't mind taking some one-offs on builds to try to capture that. expect this to be Jawan Jennings from Laugh Out Loud, Simone. So I think, I have no idea what John R. is doing here. This is a completely uncorrelated team. I wanted to take Bo Nix. I wanted to take Dallas Goedert there and try to push Bo Nix. But this team really struggles if Bo Nix gets taken there. I don't really have a build to go from there. So when you're kind of pushed with a situation of, I'd like to get Goddard to kind of have some multiple, NFC Super Bowls with Goddard, Barkley, Adam Scorum out of the NFC, which are both not super strong pairings. But if Nix goes, this team is basically completely dead. So sometimes you kind of have to look at it and say, which player hurts me more if they get taken? And obviously, like, Bo Nix at 29 is not way ahead or way behind ADP, but sometimes you got to be willing to just pull guys up. So looking at the one hole, he's got Nakua, Stafford, Parkinson, and then his AFC pieces are Chargers right now with Hampton and McConkey, and then Troy Franklin with Harvey. We'll get to the other teams in just a second. I'm on the clock here. I go Pat Bryant, Ramondre Stevenson here. Honestly, kind of a little bit of a panic. This team is candidly not a super strong build. Not really another Eagle that I feel like I wanted to reach and take at that spot. And with Denver, I'm okay with taking another Bronco in this spot, but I felt like Evan Ingram, who is probably where I would go, would be available later. So kind of on this build, probably need a second quarterback. So really more just looking for some advancement pieces on this. So one of the things I talk about in my article is not every one of your builds is going to be a team that can win. You can pivot, you can kind of work through, but sometimes you just kind of get into a spot where you're competing with Broncos, for example, on this team, or you're competing with Rams, you're competing on Eagles, and you're just not able to build a super strong build. Obviously, you can try to pivot, build different stacks with other strong players from another team to try to give yourself a live Super Bowl matchup. To me, when I have some of these builds, I don't mind still trying to make it so that I could build with Denver Rams or Denver Eagles. This feels a Super Bowl, a live Super Bowl team. But this is not one that is likely. I don't think this roster can solo ship this tournament. Really can't even chop. Maybe it could chop. But, this is one where I'm likely kind of playing for a little bit more advancement. Let's just grab a second. Let's grab a second New England piece. and then we'll add another quarterback. And we'll be done with this team. So probably the weakest team we've drafted on a stream yet this season. But again, I kind of like that. So it's not always, hey, we're just drafting strong teams and this is not realistic. You will draft some weak teams. That's just how it goes. If you are new to playoff best ball and you have not signed up for Underdog, sign up using promo code OWS. It's a 50% deposit match up to $250. Got it here in the banner down below if you have not seen. So let us take a look at some of these other teams before we hop into one more draft. The 6-hole goes Cook, Kincaid, no other Buffalo pieces. It's got Hurts with no other Eagles. Lawrence with no other Jet. Like this team is. So we talk about my team being weak. You will, and we probably should have looked at teams, but almost every draft that I feel like I've done this season, there's been at least one team that can't even feel the Super Bowl matchup. That's like completely dead to even chop because they can't even fill the 5-person Super Bowl. Let's look at Laugh Out or LOL SEMO in the comments here. He goes McCaffrey, Jennings, Purdy to go along with Henderson, May, Diggs, Henry, Mac Hollins. So he's got a 7-man, technically 8, but he can't play 2 quarterbacks. 7-man Super Bowl. So I don't mind that at all. Got decent running backs there. I don't mind these advancement pieces in Charbonnet and Metcalf. I like what you did there. 3-hole with Ian goes JSN, Walker, Darnold, and then AFC goes ETN with Jacoby Myers, Brian Thomas, Nico Collins, Woody Marks, Dalton Schultz, CJ Stroud. Yeah, so I don't mind that either. Some good. That's a unique approach, and you don't see that many teams built with those three teams. I don't mind that at all. 2-hole goes Josh Allen with Shakir and Ty Johnson. Again, kind of even if you get a Buffalo with Philly Super Bowl here, you've got AJ Brown, Devonta Smith with Allen, Shakir, and Ty Johnson, and you added Josh Palmer there for the 6th piece. I feel like that's kind of a hope and a prayer with that Ty Johnson outscores Cook and Barkley in that Super Bowl. Like I feel that's why I really don't like this construction, and you see it done somewhat frequently. Allen with 2 Eagles that aren't Saquon Barkley. I personally think that's a weak approach. And then the 1-hole goes Puka Nacua, Stafford. Is able to add Parkinson, and then has his running backs from the the AFC with Denver. He's got Harvey, Troy Franklin, and then from the Chargers, Marion Hampton, Landon McConkey, added Herbert and Quentin Johnson there as well. So I don't mind that build either. Okay, so let's plan to do another one, and this will probably be the last draft of the night for me. Going to navigate over to. We're going to do one more mitten, and I will type go again. And when you see go, kind of pop up for you. In the chat, go ahead and click join with us. looks like we are 5 out of 6. And the room is filled. So, I think if we're just kind of talking, general strategy, I kind of think first 2 rounds, I think your optimal strategy is taking teammates on a team you feel like can make the Super Bowl. So let's say that's like Puka Nacua or Stafford if you're drafting from like the 1 or 2 hole. 2 star players from kind of opposing conferences. So maybe that's JSN and James Cook. We talked about kind of considering that those stud running backs, whether that's CMC, whether that's Barkley, James Cook, Henderson, Kyron, Harvey, they're all typically drafted in the first 3 rounds. So I think you can make a strong argument that you should try to get one of those running backs in every draft that you do. And then kind of the 3rd round, I think you're generally trying to either have 3 pieces from the same team, whether that be Barkley, Hurts, A.J. Brown, or you're kind of going for a stack of like maybe it's CMC and Kittle and you grab Bo Nix and you're going to try to build that out. But, I think just kind of being conscious of the fact that you do have to start a running back, that they do kind of fall off of a cliff. I think is something to be to be conscious of. We got Rob said he is just to my left in the 4 hole as the Southern Dandy. Here in the 5, I feel like I'm going to keep building the same teams, but I'm in the 6 hole here. FLLC goes. I think it's a mistake to go. You could go. I think that the traditional approach here is to go Adams and Kyron. If Stafford gets back to you, great. If not, you're then building AFC AFC. You're getting your quarterbacks through the AFC. So the 5 hole here goes Cook, Barkley. That's a start I really like when you can get it. Have to get Jalen Hurts in those builds, or you're having to pivot again, which is fine, but might go to the 3 hole with Preston Pickle, who grabs AJ Brown there. To me, I'd rather see the 3 hole there grab an AFC player personally. So Z Master goes Puka Nacua, Matt Stafford, Nico Collins. 2 hole goes Allen and Drake May. I really think that's a mistake to take 2 quarterbacks in the first 3 rounds. I think from here, I'm going to go Cortland Sutton. I'm just looking at who needs. Where are you going to go? I think I have to take I wanted to go Blake Corum there, but I think looking at the board, the 5-hole doesn't really have an AFC team. He's probably going to have to. Kind of kicks the can by taking Shakir there while he tries to figure out what he wants to do. Our friend Rob in the 4-hole building a San Francisco Jacksonville stack. I don't mind that approach. I have no idea what John R. is doing here. He's got players from 3 different AFC teams in his first 4 picks. No NFC players. And 2 quarterbacks with his first 3 picks. I like to see Z Master probably take. This is probably a spot I like to see him pull up Woody Marks a little early, if I'm being honest. Yeah, Hampton, okay. Jacobs. Five NFC players for a present pick. Rob, I like taking Lawrence there, kind of shoring that up, not giving the 5-hole an opportunity to just kind of snipe you there. It's forced to kind of build around. Considered going Diggs Ramondre there. Yeah, I don't think the 2-hole has any idea what he's doing. Rob says, trying for a different combo. Yeah, I don't mind it. So added Colby Parkinson there to go with Adams and Kyron. For the NFC, AFC going to build around both Denver with Sutton, Nix, and Troy Franklin. Probably plan on adding either Keenan Allen or Rondé Gadsden in the 9th, 10th over there to give me another Charger to go along with Ladd McConkey to set up that potential 6-person Super Bowl, whether it's Rams Broncos or Rams Chargers. And then likely we'll go for some type of advancement piece running back, whether that be a Bucky Irving, a Jalen Warren, a Kyle Monangai, a Kenneth Gainwell, just because I only have Kyron Williams on this team at running back. Let's see what our guy Rob has got going on. He has gone CMC, Kittle, Jennings, Purdy to go along with Etienne, Myers, Lawrence, and Strange. And then he adds Rome Dunze. Probably wants to grab like a Kyle Monangai, or I don't know that you actually need another running back there. Maybe another Chicago pass catcher. If there's, your call. So I think for me here, I'm going Gadsden as another option here, and then I wanted to grab an advancement piece running back that could be Bucky Irving, that could be Zach Charbonnet. I think I'm going to go Gainwell. Just feel like Pittsburgh is more likely secured into the playoffs at this point. Yeah, Luther Burden's another pass catcher. Nice. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in. We've been live for a little over an hour. Looks like between both the 1-week season and StatATL channel, we got a little over 200 of you watching live between the two. So I do appreciate you guys tuning in. If we've got no other questions, I will plan on catching you guys next time. And appreciate you tuning in. Happy holidays.
1-week season.